Alrighty, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good midnight, whatever time of day it is that you're watching this video. Okie dokie Pinocchio. We were asked a question by Rocky L. Rottweiler. Yeah, what a name. Okay, Rocky. And it's in regards, as you can see by the title, so this is going to be a video all on its own. Another Q&A type question, and it's in regards to trucker safety. You know, there's been stuff in the news. People have heard about truck drivers being killed or hurt. There was one last summer, I believe it was, out in BC, where the truck driver pulled over to what he thought was helping a stranded motorist and ended up almost being beaten to death. And then there was a couple of different drivers that were killed at truck stops. One driver a number of years ago, Jason, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. Anyone who listens to any of the trucking shows on XM or Sirius there know who I'm talking about. It's something that his wife and several others have been trying to push a new law through Congress called Jason's Law in regards to finding, you know, or creating more and safer parking for truckers. Now, okay, so we're gonna just go around that particular story, and you gotta think about where he parked and where a lot of people park because they think they're being smart. They think they're getting ahead of the game. Now, a lot of drivers, now at the last company I worked with, loved trying to just beat all the traffic, get in and sleep at the customer. So that's never a good thing in my opinion. You know, when you're delivering in big cities or small towns, doesn't matter, you're unfamiliar with the area. First off, you don't know if the customer's necessarily got truck parking or whatever. Overnight parking, you get in there, they don't have any room, so now you're going to end up parking on the street, in a dark alley, a dead-end street, an abandoned gas station, such as Jason did before he got killed, you know, because he couldn't find any place else close by to the customer. Now, there was a few other things involved with his there, but a lot of guys do that. I see it all the time. Trucks parked in abandoned state, gas stations, stores, whatever, back down dead-end streets, and, you know, really sometimes not good areas of town. And, you know, even some of these truck stops, you go, they're like really shitty looking, parking in the back row of some of these real shitty looking ones where, you know, they got potholes that you could lose a truck in almost. Just, you have to look at the whole situation of where you are. And parking in some of these places, I mean, red flags should go up immediately. That this isn't really a good place for you to be. You know, you get into some of the bigger places such as, you know, Philadelphia, Chicago, New York, any of these huge cities that, you know, have higher crime rates. Especially, still a lot of people have been hit hard by the recession and whatnot. Has driven a lot of people to crime over stupid stuff, you know, just a couple of dollars, muggings, etc. So, really, is it safe being a trucker? Sure it is. But you gotta do like everything else. You know, you're not gonna walk into a pitch black dark alley where you might see a drunk and you want to help them and hope like hell you're not going to get the shit kicked out of you. It's just, I don't know, it's all relative to what you're doing. You know, picking well-lit parking lots, picking, you know, well-populated areas, like truck stops, you know, the popular ones, and I'll name a few: Flying J, Pilot, TAs, Petros, you know, some of the bigger ones. I do it all the time. I find a place to stop before the city I'm going into, and I make sure it's a large truck stop. and I get up extra early, get in, beat the traffic, and I get into the customer and on time. But going into the customers to sleep, parking on streets and in back alleys and in dead end streets, abandoned gas stations or stores, you're just asking for trouble. I've been out here a long time, and I gotta say things have gotten better. And this also goes around lot lizards, and I know you all know what lot lizards are. Prostitution. Since I've been back on the road in the last 2.5 years there, and even beforehand, I didn't. I haven't seen a single lot lizard, if you will. I haven't been pestered by a single lot lizard. Why? Because I picked the more popular places to park and stop. Well-lit areas. I do sleep in rest areas. Some people say to avoid rest areas sometimes. You can have problems there. Also, you got to be aware of the scammers that are out there, guys. A separate video on scams. But that can also get you in trouble, okay? So actually, I will do a separate video on scams. But yeah, is trucking safe? Sure, it's safe. But it's all up to you on how safe you make it. As far as that guy in BC who pulled over to help that motorist and, got nearly beaten to death, that is just something that's totally unforeseen. Truckers used to do it all the time, and people wonder, why don't truckers stop anymore to help anyone? Well, that's part of the reason. It's just, and that's not the only time it's ever happened. It happens all the time. Guys get mugged. You've got hijackings out there. So it all depends on where you are, what you're doing, and using common sense. Okay, big time common sense as to where you park, how you park, what areas you park. I totally discourage anyone from going. Now, if you call the customer, and I'm going to use this as an example, even though I know they don't do it. Walmart, distribution centers, large places like that have big security gated places that say, yeah, sure, come on in. You can sleep here on the premises. Those places would be fine to go to. But if it's, some tucked away neighborhood in an old part of town, the customer, yeah, you can come sleep on the streets. Truckers sleep on the street all the time. I wouldn't do it. No. That's just asking for trouble. So, at any rate, yeah, I know I didn't really answer the question that well here, but I'm just trying to tell you guys, you got to use common sense as to where you park at night, locking your doors when you go to bed, things like that. If someone's knocking at your door, don't just open your door willy-nilly. Take a peek first, type thing. So, common sense, that's the biggest factor in staying safe out here. So, that's that.